there it is.
Okay, there we go.
It says upcoming.
Stream.
Maybe it's just me.
It should be streaming.
Yeah,
now.
there it goes.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Now that we got the customary technical difficulties introduction out of the way.
Yes, as we always do. I have to stream my end, don't I? Where is...
Yes.
There's Discord. Bug Fables. And then I have to change the...
Resolution to potato.
Yeah, I don't know why. You're not the only person I've had to do that with.
I don't know either.
It's weird. So, NASA's starting its own streaming service for some reason.
Yeah.
I mean, it already has one. It's called NASA TV, but fine. I don't know. Like, I watched the trailer for it, and it looks pretty cool, except it has the Starship launch in it. Just like the one part that looked a little bit cool.
You know. Wouldn't it be funny if, like, half the fucking program on there is just SpaceX propaganda?
If that was it, I would just not watch it. I mean, it's free and has no ads. I would just not watch it at all. Oh.
Musk is such a fucking... Musk is such a fucking idiot.
God, I just can't fucking tolerate it. It makes me so mad to think about it. And people are like,
I mean, over 20 years ago, right, when he was part of PayPal, he's like, hey, let's rename our company X. Yeah. And they're like, no, that's fucking stupid. Why would we do that? Like, PayPal's a great brand. Like it literally describes what our service does.
Right. It sounds friendly. Like, it's not, but it sounds friendly. And I've actually had some great experience. I've had to call PayPal technical support, and they've been extremely friendly and competent. So...
Yeah, and they even did like some brief market research, and at that time, and unsurprisingly, everyone thought the X brand just meant it was porn.
Yes. Yeah.
Because
I've seen that.
Because obviously, right? Like that's a common moniker, right? And just. I can't. There's still fucking people out there just fucking like, Musk is such a genius, you don't get it.
Yeah, such a genius. I mean, I am literally an expert in everything he claims to be an expert in, and he's not a genius.
Mm-hmm.
We left off the evil, was it the Wasp Kingdom or the Hornets? I can't remember what they are. The bad
Hornets,
bugs.
Yeah, the Hornets or the Wasps attacked.
Yeah, who are definitely not going to turn out to be the good guys after all. Or at least co-bad guys attacked the kingdom. Now, it's been a while since I played this game, so let's see if I remember. I wasn't very good at it when I was playing it regularly. So let's see if I'm any good at it now. Here, alright. And I mean, that's just Twitter, right? And that's all anybody's talking about right now, is that Twitter is this and that and the other thing. And they're all right, but, like, I can't even... you cannot read anything in the space news that is the least bit mildly critical of the current world order, right? The closest we've come is, should the accident with the Titan submersible or the incident be a warning sign for space tourism? And I'm like, yes.
Yes.
Like, and you get all those articles about people are like, oh, we need to reduce regulations to spur innovation. But they don't understand what innovation means. They just want to save the money that regulations would cost them, right? Going to the moon the first time was a massive, incredible innovation, and we still had to do it, as safely as we could.
I mean, admittedly, a bunch of billionaires dying in hard vacuum would be hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, if they were going to test it themselves, then I'd be on board for it, right? But, but they're not going to be the ones eating the pie of their own hubris. It's going to be some,
Ocean Gate was exceptional in that regard.
Yes.
you know, if the people on that sub were considerably poorer, it wouldn't have been news.
Right.
Like, oh, a bunch of minimum wage workers died on an obvious death trap of a submarine. Who cares?
Right. Oh, it sucks. We'll pay their families a couple of $1 million and go on with our lives. Like
million? That's being hopeful.
Very generous here.
Yeah, that's very hopeful.
Yes.
I mean, I remember there one case where basically, this was decades ago now, but basically there was this like mine in the side of this mountain that was above this town, and the operators of the mine kind of fucked things up, and part of the mountain basically fell down in a landslide and buried a fucking entire school of children.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, and
I remember hearing.
You know how much the parents got compensated in $20?
How much?
About $300 per kid.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, you can buy an Xbox with that.
Can you?
Used one.
Oh, yeah, okay, used one. I haven't looked at Xbox prices recently because I'm a PC Master Race dude, but
yeah, so
I don't think you can buy it.
Yeah, so you know, if Musk wants to test it himself, he can go ahead. Like,
yeah. In fact, what was it? I don't know if it's actually true, but they used to say in ancient Rome, if you were building an archway, you had to stand underneath it while they removed the supports to make sure it was built correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't know if that was true, but even if it wasn't true, we should do that. That's absolutely a thing that should happen.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's. Oh yeah, in terms of also the world being stupid, how about that Stanford fraud case?
Just.
So.
I mean, look, it's hard being me, right? And wow, or whatever. But like everything I've ever gone into in my life has turned out to be shitty that way. Right?
Yeah,
the space program is full of fraudulent contractors, or whatever the hell SpaceX is pulling. I don't know if they're actually fraudulent, but from a systemic perspective, they're just a waste of money. That's what I mean. And then there's this shit in academia. It just sucks.
So to explain, right? Basically, so the now ex-president of Stanford, right?
Oh, it is ex-president. That's good.
Yeah, he wasn't fired. He stepped down.
Oh.
And he still teaches. So anyway, so he was in the field of neuroscience, right? In neuroscience papers. And basically there was like rumblings within the scientific community that, his research was, as the kids would say, a touch sussy, if you will. So this 18-year-old freshman in the college who's part of the student newspaper, unpaid, investigate the situation and like looked at all of his old research and found that he had all of his research papers over the course of decades were just rife with like photo manipulation and other shit like that.
Great.
Not even like good photo manipulation either, like really obvious photo manipulation.
So he just. So what is it that he manipulate exactly?
So his specific subfield was specifically in the realm of like Alzheimer's treatments. And so an example of this is that he had one of his papers here's like a treatment for increasing the size of brain cells, right? And it has the before treatment brain cell and the after treatment brain cell, and the after treatment brain cell is literally just the same picture zoomed in.
That's just unconscionable. Unconscionable. Like, I was reading today, some people think that there are, was it Susan B. Corman for the Cure or whatever? Mm-hmm. They're the ones who with the pink, anyway, for breast cancer. Apparently, and I just read this on Reddit, but apparently they have been doing things like suppressing cancer research, because if they cure cancer, then they can't collect money, and they give like almost no money to charity, and they pay a huge amount to their leaders, CEOs, whoever it is.
Yeah,
and it's just like
nonprofits are a scam.
Yeah, well, right. I mean, even if this shit's only half true, it's still the most horrible thing I've heard in the last month. Right? It's just unbelievable that we and this is stuff that people can just go look at. Right? Like a lot of these accounting lines are pretty public, and it's just, how do we let it happen?
Yeah. So
I mean, I know how we let it happen, but it's a great morals failure.
Yeah. So basically his research was found out to be rife with data manipulation, image manipulation, points where the text just outright lies about what the data says, etc., etc. Right. And so basically these accusations were brought to this guy on the board of trustees, and he was like, well, one of my underlings must have done it.
Yeah.
And it's
you're
like,
the PI, you're responsible for them.
Yeah, that's the fucking thing, right? You're the lead guy. Your ass is on the line. You didn't read your own fucking paper?
Right.
And I imagine it's totally possible that, you're a lead of some research project and one of your co-researchers, make shit up so that they can get published, right? But your name's on it, right? You're responsible for that, right? You can't just say, hey, oh, right? Imagine, right, if you were in charge of designing some fucking rocket part, right? Mm-hmm. In charge of a team designing a rocket part, and the rocket part goes into the rocket, goes to launch, it blows up and kills a bunch of people, right? And your excuse is like, well, one of my underlings must have fucked up.
Yeah,
right?
No.
No, you were in charge of the team. You were in charge of the team, you fucking asshole.
That's public inquiry time.
Yeah.
A lot of horrible shit has had to happen.
Right, you can't kick that one down the hill, right?
No.
Right, so, at the very least, right, even if he didn't actually personally, fabricate the evidence himself, which seems very doubtful since it was done over the course of many, many years with many different groups of people at different workplaces, right? Even if that somehow were the case, right, he's still the fucking lead guy on it. He's still...
Right.
Right, if you don't hold him responsible, then literally nobody's ever going to vet the work of their research peers, right?
Yeah, because why would they?
Yeah. Right, frankly, if you're a co-signer onto one of those papers, right, you're a co-author, right, you have a minimum responsibility to do some basic vetting of the material. And honestly, I think that and just basically letting him off like that is just oh, he's prestigious and he's tenured, and it's yeah, and he got his tenure off of fraud.
Right. It's just, I mean, it's wrong. It's wrong at every there's no comment I can make to explain it in more detail, right?
Yeah. So
he lied to science.
Yeah, and frankly, I think I've been thinking about more and more, and I think that academic fraud is just way more common than people think.
I mean, it has to do with the way academia is built, right? You don't even need people to do things like this, where they just are blatantly lying. You just need people to, not do the best job they can do because they don't have the time or the money.
Did you send me something I should look at?
Did I?
I just heard a ping on Discord. It's probably somebody else. I
don't think it was me. I'm playing this game poorly.
Yeah, anyway. So yeah, it's very easy to have lies of omission, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, right, when I was in grad school, one of my projects was to basically choose a paper that we covered in the course materials and try to replicate it as an exercise, which is a pretty good exercise, honestly.
Great exercise. I wish they'd done stuff like that for me.
Yeah. So basically, I picked out this one paper I thought was a bit suspicious that had to do with voting backlash, because I was in political science.
What is voting backlash?
So in the specific case, it was about Canadian politics, so, fake politics.
Yeah.
And switch to leaf, do a magic attack, and you don't.
I don't have any.
Use a nut or something.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to use a nut. Actually, I will use a nut with leaf. Or hard seed. Bonk.
Yeah, so the idea, the situation, what happened was that there's a province in Canada that elected basically the Green Party in charge. They enacted a series of policies to encourage, you might want to go back and heal up.
Yeah.
They enacted a series of policy changes in order to encourage the construction of wind turbines across the province, right? And this policy, right, and the wind turbines thing ended up becoming a sticking point for the next election, and the Greens were ousted in the next election, right? So is the statistical analysis trying to examine whether or not the construction of the wind turbines had a negative backlash effect on people's likelihood to vote for the Greens?
Sure, that makes sense.
That was basically the gist of it.
Yeah, relatively simple multifactorial analysis, yeah.
Yeah. Now the data were a bit spotty, so it didn't use the typical linear regression model, but instead used a matching model. Do you know what matching is?
In this context, no.
All right, so basically, in some social science areas, right, you have issues where you can have lossy data sets, right? So you have parts of data for every case, right? So let's say you wanted to say like the characteristics of a household, for example, right? Where you have different data about a household, right? How many people live there? How much is the value of the house? Is it near X, Y, or Z such thing? Crime rates, et cetera, right? So, and you might have a data set where some things about some houses and other things about other houses, right?
All right.
So, right, and that's a problem for linear regression because you typically need full data, right? So what matching does is that it basically looks at the data, right? So let's say you're missing an income for a given house, right? It can look at things like how much the house is worth, crime rates near it, et cetera, and looking at the rest of the data set, which does have that information, impute what approximately the income of that household should be.
All right.
Right. So basically it goes through first and fills in all these blanks about what it thinks these things are. And then it goes through again and does a basically typical regression analysis.
Okay.
Matching tends to be a bit tricky on the programming side. When you're manipulating the statistical program, so it's a little bit more advanced. It's not as advanced as something like a time series, but it's a pain in the ass, is the point. So this researcher used this matching process. And in the text of the paper, right, it noted it said it used how the value of people's houses as a control variable, because part of the null hypothesis was that the Conservative Party was just better at motivating high wealth voters to go and vote this time, who are naturally more conservative and would vote against the Green Party, and it had nothing to do with the wind turbines.
Mm-hmm.
So the text of the paper says, right, um, you know, value of household is part of the control variables. But if you actually look at the table, household value wasn't included, right? So the text of the paper and the table presented of the paper didn't match each other. So I was like, okay, that's weird. So I had to go and I digged into the data set in the program they actually, and the program file they used to actually run the matching analysis.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ran the program with the data as it was provided by the authors, it output the table they provided in the paper, right? That was accurate. But if you looked at how the program was structured, while house value was in the data set, the actual matching analysis never actually referred to the household value. It never actually pulled that data.
So they just omitted it entirely.
Yes. So I redid it with the household value included in the analysis this time, basically doing it how the text says it was done, and all the results became statistically insignificant.
Yeah, that makes sense. Especially if they're trying to. So what they're trying to analyze is part of their hypothesis involved the wealth level of households, and they didn't even include the value of their home.
Yes. So
that's insane.
The text of the paper says they did, but they didn't actually do it.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
That's.
So.
I mean, generously, they just didn't know how to do the analysis they claimed they were doing. But
yeah. So now again, right? It's a complicated procedure, right? So did they fuck it up and just nobody really went into detail looking at the right, and none of the peer reviewers noticed the contradiction or really dug into the details of the program files, right? Which is possible, right? Because one thing I've learned in writing, actually, right, is if you have text accompanying an image of some kind, which includes tables, and they contradict each other, people will always go with whatever the image says. Right?
Yeah, that makes sense, because you assume the image is derived directly from the data.
Yeah. Even if they contradict each other. And you can see this happen in scientific research. You can also see it happen in, like, game rule books, for example. If there's image and text, people will assume the image. People will take whatever the image says, right? So it's very possible that the peer reviewers just looked at the table. The table looks mostly right. If you run the replication data, it outputs the same table. The data set that they pull from is a real data set that's legitimate, right? So it's possible that they missed it, right? But it's also possible that the author behind it, was working on this question, basically did all this work to set up this matching data analysis, ran it, found that that the results were not statistically significant, and therefore would never get published, and then was like, maybe if I just leave out this one variable,
the most important variable that they said that they were trying to look at,
yeah, nobody will really notice, right? And if somebody does notice, right, I can just be like, whoopsie, it was complicated, I fucked up, won't happen again, right? Right, like that's right, especially since, right, even if you're right, because academia as a career is basically a pyramid scheme, right?
Yeah.
So unless you're at the very, very tippy top, right, you're a tenured professor, a department head, or part of the administration. If you're not one of those three people, you are fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Right, you're raked over the coals. You live in poverty, and you work way, way too much.
I had a PI tell me once, he was telling me about my stipend that I was going to get for doing research, And, it wasn't particularly great. They give you health insurance, which is nice, but the rest of it wasn't particularly great. And he's like, oh, it's fine. Graduate students are supposed to be poor. I'm like, are we? Considering I'm doing the work on this grant?
Yeah. Yeah, since, as it turns out, the people who are paid less end up doing most of the goddamn work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I got lucky in that I ended up not being particularly overworked for a variety of reasons.
Yeah. But,
frankly, these are bad reasons. But
if you're a TA, if you're a TA or an RA, you're doing all of the bitch work. You're doing the data entry. You're doing the formatting. You're doing all the other. You're retrieving the data. You're doing all sorts of shit, right? The lead researcher is just coming up with the theories, right?
Yeah. Yes, coming up with the theories and hopefully telling you what they are. that doesn't always happen. And at some point you'll just get replaced by an undergraduate who's cheaper. Yeah. So it's fine.
And coming up with the theories is the easy part, right? Like, so when you're in that sort of context, right? It's very right if you do all this work to do the statistical analysis, find it's not significant, right? You could very conveniently omit a controlling variable, hoping that nobody notices, and even if it gets retracted way later down the line, it still counts towards you getting tenure.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, scientifically speaking, they could have done the analysis correctly, found that there was no meaningful correlation, said, yes, these data collected this way shows us there isn't any reason to believe that any of these factors had an effect on the outcome, and that would be valid science. It's just that
that won't get published.
Exactly, it won't get published. Journals don't like publishing valid science that isn't, oh, but we found this cool thing, or this is a sexy result.
Yeah,
or you can publish negative science, but it has to be like, oh, we overturned this guy.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to publish anything that isn't a positive result.
No, I should start a journal and actually publish good science on any topic. And I'll pay my peer reviewers to do a good job.
So you have these... so you have this situation, right, where... And I was also thinking about this in relation to, like, speedrunning, actually. Video game speedrunning. Oh. So in the world of video game speedrunning, there's a lot of fraud.
Of course there is.
Right. And moreover, right, it's not like low-level fraud, right? The best cheats are people who are actually already good at the game, right?
Yeah.
Because they know what a proper run looks like, right? Right, as opposed to if you're really shit at the game, right, you don't know what a good run looks like, right? You're not skilled enough to fake it right. And there have been many, many instances of, people who are legitimately really good speedrunners engaging in fraud. And for what? Clout, that's it, right? Clout among a tiny internet community.
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of speedrunning sponsorships out there.
Yeah, it's a hobby. Nobody's getting paid, and yet people commit fraud, even though there's basically no reason to. There's almost no reason to, right? Like, these are often people who are already really good at the game and accomplished. There's no money behind it. There's nothing, right? So, and to their credit, right, many of these speedrunning communities have gotten really good at and really detailed at spotting fraudsters, going down to things like audio waveform analysis on speedruns.
Huh.
Right, under the idea, right, people can try to edit a splice together speedrun. But if you splice together stuff, right, one of the things you can't really have good control over is the soundtrack. So you can look at the audio waveforms to see where different audio tracks have been sort of tried to be melded together.
Right.
And there's also, like, one big case of, like, I think Trackmania, where a game called Trackmania, where some moderators found a way to analyze the control inputs from the player, because it turns out the game actually tracked that, but it wasn't in the the replay files, but people didn't know that for a long time. And that ended up outing like just a ton of fraudsters who are using tool-assisted speedruns, which were found out because their inputs were humanly impossible.
Have you read any of Ian Banks's culture books?
No.
So there's one that I started with. It's not the first one that he wrote, but it was recommended to me as like the introductory one because it's the most straightforward, called The Player of Games. And this is kind of a spoiler for like the first chapter of the book, but so it's about the culture. I don't know if you know anything about the culture. For anybody out there who doesn't know anything about the culture, it's basically this super advanced interstellar society of basically anarcho-communists who they've solved basically every problem of material scarcity, and they spend their time doing things that are important to them. And one of them is, I forget his name, but he's the titular player of games, and he spends all his time becoming really good at this really weird game that I don't really remember the rules to. And he is like the best in the entire, the whole station where he lives. And he is tempted to cheat because he's otherwise going to lose against this, up and coming upstart guy. And he does so, and the local equivalent of the CIA uses that to blackmail him into going on this secret mission to this other star system for them, which has a big ritual that involves this big game that they're playing. So, and I remember reading that and being like, my response, I just lose. I just take my loss like a man, and be like, you know what, you're better than me today. I'm going to beat you next time, and have fucking fun with it. So I don't get people who do shit like this. Just don't do it.
So, and in addition to improving their moderation efforts, another credit to the speedrunning community is that people who are caught for fraud have all of their speedrun, all of them, even the ones they haven't proved they're frauds, all of them stripped from the record forever, and they're banned forever.
Good.
Permanently. Right?
Yep, that's how you do it.
Right, and that's like the minimum possible enforcement, right? But there have been numerous cases in academia where it took ages for fraudsters to be held accountable, even once it became obvious. And very rarely do they lose their jobs entirely. They lose their research grants, they lose their more prestigious positions, but they're allowed to, continue in some, shit-ass department.
It's amazing how much of academia is done with reputation and word by mouth. Like, I was definitely told, you're like such and such a guy, don't cite him, he cheats on his papers. I'm like, why is he still having a job?
Why does he have a job still?
Right, yeah.
Right, because, again, one of the issues with scientific research, is that it's a field where quality absolutely matters way, way more than quantity. In fact... it doesn't matter. In terms
of the mission of science, yes.
Yeah. In fact, it doesn't matter how much quantity you produce if it's all shit, right?
If you produce one fucking amazing paper in your whole life, you're remembered forever.
Yeah. Right. It's not like making, I don't know, cars or whatever, right? Where if you push out a shitty car, right, it at least is, kind of functional, right?
Yeah.
Right? It at least kind of does whatever it's supposed to, right? A low-quality research is worthless. Entirely. It's a waste of money. Especially taking account once you're calculating the cost of these things, a single research paper is going to cost the economy something in the realm of what, $10,000 at least?
At least. I mean, if I'm an RA, if I'm a research assistant, and I produce one paper a year, that paper probably costs the university on the order of $30,000 to $40,000.
Yeah.
Because that's what it... Now, granted, they're also... eating my tuition, and also I'm doing test proctoring and stuff like that, but still. Yeah.
But so you have and again, my paper about wind turbines, over the past decade or so, they've started finally introducing replicability standards. So you submit a data set, you submit your statistical analysis program, whatever, right? And that has to be replicable by the end user, right? But things like my wind turbine thing would pass the replicability test because of all the reasons I already explained, right?
Right.
It would pass the replicability test, so that wouldn't even be caught, right? So
it's a bad test.
Yeah. Even then, right? Like 2/3 of scientific research in most fields are not replicable, right?
Yep.
And then out of that 1/3, which is at least replicable, right? How much of that shit is, fraud or bad science or misspecified or just kind of worthless, right?
Yeah.
So you're
hyper-specific topic that doesn't really do anything.
So you end up having a situation where like 90% of scientific research is just completely worthless.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Just literally there's literally no point in even writing it in the first place. Right. So that's a huge failure rate. Like that is an unacceptably huge failure rate for the thing you're trying to produce, which is good research.
Yeah, it's the I mean in the day-to-day life of a researcher at any level, their incomes, their livelihoods are dependent on grant money predominantly. Yeah. And the way you get grant money is you publish lots of papers.
Yeah.
Even if they're not very good papers, because the way we fund science in this country is completely borked. And so unless you fix that, which requires amending the way the government hands out science funding, then there is no fixing the rest of it.
Yeah. And this is not even counting like the low level, like dubiously ethical stuff that goes on all the time, like salami splicing.
Salami splicing.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a term in your field, but at least where I was, right? Basically, the idea is you figure out some bit of you find some data set, you do an analysis on it, and if you find like multiple important things that are about it, right? Instead of doing one paper that covers all of those things, you break those up into multiple papers.
Right. Yeah. No. My research approach for what I was doing was much more normative than descriptive. So I ended up not doing a lot with a lot of data sets. I was mostly pure math. But yeah.
Yeah, so things like salami splicing or, trying to butter your way onto other people's papers that you didn't really contribute anything to.
Yep.
Which is typically your boss doing that to you.
Yeah, I'm lucky I got the primary authorship on my paper that I wrote.
Yeah, but for a lot of people, right, your first paper that you write entirely yourself is going to have your boss's name on it.
Yep.
So I think, I think academic fraud is way more common than people think it is, because speedrunners are doing actually very incredibly detailed fraud in order to get like a tiny bit of internet clout. Firstly, scientists are also, or researchers in general, are also heavily motivated by social clout. Let's be real. And
yeah,
two,
I mean, there's definitely instances. Sorry to interrupt you. There's definitely instances of people who were denied tenure because other people didn't like them.
Yeah. So one, clout's huge for them, and two, right, their jobs are on the line, right? If you don't push out a paper, you lose your tenure track position and you're fucked.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, you might just even lose your not even a tenure track position. You might just lose funding in the immediate.
Yeah.
And so, what's a tiny little bit of fraud on a paper that probably doesn't matter. That'll get figured out in 20 years, but by that time I'll have a real job with a real income and a real tenure, and I can say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was a stupid graduate student. I messed up." Right.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, people are writing papers based on that, and the fraud perpetuates itself and propagates through the scientific community.
Yeah.
And somebody will figure it out one day, but who knows how much horrible shit will happen in that period of time.
Yeah. So it's, I think you're right. I think you basically have to just restructure how science is funded in order to begin to address this issue, and also get rid of the fucking pyramid scheme. It's a goddamn nightmare, and it encourages bad behavior.
It's a question of, I mean, and then we can get into it to the nth degree, right? Like Congress's impact on the National Science Foundation, the role of privately held, or yes, okay, you have public institutions, but they have their various budgetary shortfalls and things like that they have to deal with, like institutions that spend way too much money on their football teams instead of actually doing good research, what they're supposed to be doing, stuff like that. And so the entire thing, they call it a house of cards, and that's an overused metaphor, but it's just fucking true, right? Everything's been hollowed out. Everything is right there in that same incentive structure. And so in order to solve this problem, you have to solve 10 million other problems, all of which terminate at the same root cause of where does the money go, and who says so. And so it's I mean, if I had $20 million, I'd start my own fucking university. So there's definitely going to be a big reveal here.
Yeah.
In this game, because the Queen of the Wasps has their back turned.
Are they really the old Ant Queen?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly my prediction. Are they the old Ant Queen? How many of them care for your pathetic?
Because wasp and ants are actually related.
That does sound familiar.
It's why young queens and whatnot have wings.
That does make sense. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's definitely a wasp. On the other hand, maybe Elizant, the current queen, is actually a wasp because she is wearing a mask all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Go all out.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think about my best strategy here. Okay, do everything and then you have leaf freezer.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna hold on to. You
can also have V do the look thing to see what the hit points are like and whatnot.
Oh yeah, you're right. Can I not?
Apparently not.
I can't spy? Why can't I spy?
I don't know.
I just can't spy.
It might be some secret reveal thing.
It might be. Let's see, I have enough points for it, but whatever. Maybe you have to be in the front to spy? I don't know. And you are going to do... Yeah. Didn't freeze. I blocked super well. It still took 2. Also, V's in the back, so she has more damage resistance, I think. Because
yeah,
it's not a badge. Metal. Wasp King. Okay. I really think I just can't freeze. Yeah.
Yeah, might want to use more of your heavy attacks.
Yeah. Let's see. Defense. Yeah,
Tornado toss is probably fine.
You think so?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he hasn't been blocking a whole bunch of your damage, so...
I guess that's true. Yeah, 4 seems to be my limit here. Oh, good. Oh, wonderful. One of these boss fights.
Man, it reminds me of Yick.
As if. Big buff ant. Hold down the castle. Keep it from flying away.
It's hold the fort, not hold down the fort.
Yeah. David Mitchell has a great soapbox bit on this.
Yeah. Kind of sad he didn't keep doing that.
Yeah, they were great. Still can't get over how, is it Elena Kagan who looks very strongly like a female David Mitchell?
I don't know.
One of the Supreme Court justices, I can't remember. Oh, hold on.
Maybe it just is. Maybe it just is David Mitchell.
I haven't seen them in a room together. Oh. Kitty cat, I'm sorry.
What'd you do to your kitty?
She got her nails caught on my bedspread and tripped and fell over. It was super cute, but also I feel bad. Yes, don't get on my desk. It's not time to feed you. Anyway.
Maybe we will learn about Kabu's backstory now.
Well, maybe. No, cat. No, you're very cute, but no. Yeah, we learned about V's backstory. And, or Vi's, I can't remember. I think it's V's. Obviously, Leaf's backstory is going to have some major importance for the plot, so it's going to be last. Yes, very cute cat. Yeah, fire magic versus ice magic. That's cool. Got 50 berries for losing a fight. A fight we could not possibly win. I forget how many chapters were supposed to be in this game.
I'll look it up in a minute. But, my cat's become very particular about my sleep schedule.
They do that. Wasp border.
Woke up to her sitting on my pillow looking over my face, just yelling her little young lungs out at me.
She is a very loud cat. My cat is not very loud. It's not relevant to the plot yet, or the pacing isn't right.
So what's your backstory? All right. It's not relevant to the plot yet. I'll tell you later. I fucking hate roaches.
They're gross. They're like shiny and oily. Yeah.
They're also a plague here in the South.
I believe it.
Fortunately, I did finally find some fucking roach poison that fucking works.
Good.
This is the major problem with a lot of pesticide stuff. It's like it just doesn't fucking do anything. It's just so frustrating.
Oh yeah, Leaf was like in a roach experiment or something?
Yeah.
That's right, I remember now. Science is good. And capitalism destroys it. Fuck you, she's clearly evil. Did I get healed?
You know, there really needs to be a subplot in this story where they find like a book and they need to find the author, and then they go on like this 6-hour fucking excursion and it just turns out Leaf wrote it.
Yeah. Probably. Where's my map? Not that. It's in my inventory. Oh, I've actually done almost all of this now. There's like a little area up here and like down here maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been to Metal Island. I don't know why there's not a line.
I think the lines are the connections, and I think you get to that island via boat and not to...
I guess so.
So there might be multiple ways to get there.
Yeah. So I need to go here.
Fargrasslands. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just trying to remember Defiant Route. I'm going to go to Defiant Route.
So...
what's this?
Oh yeah, also there's that article I sent you about the fucking cyanide bombs.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So basically there's this small little tiny government department called Wildlife Services, which is like a sub-department of the Department of Agriculture or something.
That makes sense.
And one of their things is to deal with wildlife predator populations that are predating livestock.
Right.
And so apparently this has been a long-running thing for some decades, actually, of where one of the ways they like to try to control these predators, which, to me, like an intuitive thing would be, just improving livestock enclosures and encouraging hunting, right?
Right. There's lots of people who like hunting.
There's lots of people who like hunting, right? And, maybe, coyote or whatever isn't, like, the most prime thing to hunt. I'm not sure, right? But, like, surely there's somebody who wants to do it. And if you're just handing out licenses to do it like candy, like, somebody's going to take you up on it, right?
Right.
But instead of doing that, they implemented kill traps. One of which is a cyanide bomb. So basically, the bomb is how it works. Is it's basically a tube you stick in the ground. On the top, there's like a tuft of cloth that's been sort of soaked in stuff that makes it smell like meat for the coyotes. And the idea is they go up, and it's buried up to where this little cloth knob is, right? And the idea is they go up, they bite on the cloth knob, they pull on it, which then triggers the cyanide gas, which shoots out into their mouth and kills them.
Okay.
So part of the problem here is that you can also set this off quite easily if you just step on it. Or, your dog that you're taking for a walk goes up to it and starts fucking with it.
Right.
Which is what happened in that article.
And presumably, since this is about defending livestock, these are relatively close to,
Yeah.
areas of human habitation and exploration.
Yeah, so in that case, it was actually 350 feet away from just a guy's house out in rural Idaho.
Jesus Christ.
Right. Basically, this kid was taking the dog on a walk. The dog went over behind like some rock to go fuck with something. The kid comes up and is like, "What's going on, bud?" The dog grabs the trap, pulls it, lets go. Lets the cyanide pop, kills the dog, and sends the kid to the emergency room, who very nearly died.
Jesus Christ.
And notably, it wasn't even coyote season.
There's got to be... There either is a regulation that isn't being followed, is my guess, or there is a story about they wanted to have a regulation to, like, put big signs all around here saying, don't come here, don't let your dog come here, cyanide. Because not like the fucking coyotes can read. And that didn't get implemented. Something like that.
So in my opinion, right, this is just fundamentally flawed idea, right? Because firstly, there's no way to make a poison trap for a coyote that isn't going to also be deadly dangerous to humans and their pets, right?
Right.
Poisons in the dose. Pesticides work on, pesticides kill insects but not humans because basically of the upside of the square cube law, right? Where large organisms have a much easier time removing toxic substances from their systems. So even a proportionately much smaller dose of poison to something like an insect is likely to kill them. Of course, right, something like a coyote or a mountain tiger or whatever, right, is big enough that anything that's poison to them is poison to humans, right? And secondly, right, if you put big warnings, right, these animals are intelligent enough that they will learn, right?
I guess that's true.
Right, if you put up signs near cyanide traps being like, "Hey, don't fuck with the cyanide trap," then coyotes, there'll be like a group of coyotes. One of them will go off and eat the cyanide trap and die, and the other ones will then learn to associate, the signage with, death.
If that ends up being the case, just put the signs everywhere near the livestock, and the coyotes won't come near.
Yeah.
I mean, this is all way more convoluted and complicated than you have to do it, but still.
Yeah. So, and more right, and lastly, right, you run into the same problem of landmines, where it's like, okay, right, you're supposed to very fastidiously track where you've put all your landmines.
Yeah.
Does that actually happen? No.
No.
Right. You're planting tons of them all over the place, and rain and erosion and just foliage growing and dying off can very easily make it impossible to find where the fuck you put it. Right. So the second you put one of these cyanide bombs out in the wild, right, you might as well have just lost it entirely. And who knows how many years that can just sit out there waiting to go off and kill someone. So it, and moreover, right, it's not even clear it's something that even does what it's supposed to do, right? Because like if you're just putting cyanide bombs out in the wild, right? Okay, sure, you're killing coyotes, but who's to say those coyotes would actually ever go fuck with your herds, right?
Right.
So this is altogether just a way more deadly and convoluted way of just encouraging hunting and making your enclosures more secure.
Yeah, but then some contractor couldn't get a whole lot of money from the government for this bomb product.
Yeah, but think about the cyanide manufacturers. What'll they do?
I was going to say, I bet somebody had a whole lot of extra cyanide from some chemical process that they needed to do something with.
Yeah, so it's completely ridiculous. Like it's like one of those things of like, oh, this is like obviously a terrible idea. Like,
Right.
like it doesn't. And this isn't the first time it happened. Like there's like over like apparently over the decades there's like over 70 cases of people being injured or killed from these bombs.
Horrible.
Right. Because again, right, you could just be randomly hiking somewhere, step on it, and boom, cyanide, baby. And of course, right, again, like, right, not only, and also you're way out in the middle of fuck all nowhere. It's not like emergency services are easily going to get you.
No. And it, like, I'm thinking, if you have a landmine, like a field of landmines, you have those, like, they're like, I don't know, they're basically like long cables with explosives that I think they are themselves det cord. And you fire them out over the landmine and you blow them up and it blows up a whole bunch of landmines.
Yeah.
Like, if you did that to these things, they would just spray cyanide everywhere in a big cloud.
Yeah.
So...
Don't you just love the fucking influence of big agriculture?
Oh, it's great. Makes lots of money, though, so it must be the most efficient and most socially progressive way to do something. So Kabu's having kind of a moment here.
Okay.
Also, I'm just going to leave because I want to go down to Snake Mouth and do a Snake Mouth thing.
Yeah. So.
Which I forgot about. Right. Fuck off. I think more RPGs need to have a thing you can do. God damn it.
Face the direction you're throwing.
Yeah, I know, but the control stick flicks back. And okay, so I'm moving to the left and now I let go. Yeah, I let go. And just like the momentum of the control stick flicking backward turns my character around. So yeah. Needs to be a little bit more of a dead zone. But look, there's an infinite variety of ways that our fundamental failure to properly design our systemic institutions can manifest. And this is just fucking, number 1,050,000 of them, Ooh. What? Oh, how does it take me to... You know what? I'll deal with that later. It's not where I want to be. No. I want to go... Is it there I want to go? No, there's where I want to go. This perspective, it makes doing things difficult. Yeah, this way. I think there's a better way to do this, but I'm just going to go this way. Nope. Oh, hello. Are there? Oh shit, there are. Let's just take all of them.
I don't know why
I'll randomly come across them somewhere in the world.
I don't know why it doesn't just give it all to you at the same time.
I don't know. Did I get all of them?
I guess they just gotta have the illusion of choice.
Yeah. I mean, I will almost certainly have 1 million unfinished side quests in this game, but I don't care.
Yeah.
Also, I'd rather just take them all now.
Yeah. Also, I saw a few days ago someone on Twitter, or just the internet in general, actually, sort of a little discussion of a curious bit of American geography, right, which is the Mississippi River system, right?
Right.
Which is like right, which like from a civilizational perspective is just like the perfect place to set up, right? It's this huge.
Oh yeah, it's great.
It's this huge navigable river system that has basically everything you need for an industrial society on right next to it. At some point in the river system, steel, coal, farmland, so on and so forth, and it's all navigable.
Yeah.
And nobody know, and great, like this is like a perfect cradle of civilization, and nobody lives there.
Yep. They definitely said something about a snake.
So obviously, the people who live there now have failed to develop civilization, and is now the burden of more civilized peoples to come in and settle the land to develop it.
Right. When was this thing written? You were talking this Twitter thing?
Oh, this was like a couple days ago.
Well, like, that's their perspective is.
No, I was making a joke then.
I was because people did that.
No, we need to do it again, right? We need to
do it again.
Yeah, we need, all the white people who live there now have clearly failed to develop civilization. So we just need to settle the area with coastal elites, and the locals can be relocated to reservations.
Oh, yes.
Send them to Florida. They can have Florida.
It'll be underwater. It'll be underwater eventually anyway.
Yeah, exactly. On a more serious note, if we fail to do enough about climate change, essentially relocating populations to the interior probably will be necessary.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because the Mississippi River system is a pretty ideal place to settle, and also is protected from most of the shit that climate change is going to do.
Yep. This is why I'm told some people have, like, oh, the United States will be fine, even though we built most of our cities on the coasts. Like, yeah, probably. If we start building lots of big cities now.
Yeah, if you move to, right, you need to, it's a Herculean task, right? You need to, right, relocating large populations of people is a tricky issue, even when the people are totally willing and are game for it, right?
Right. I'm just looking at this lab thing they were talking about. I'm listening.
Even when they're well equipped and voluntarily doing it, right? It could be a huge pain in the ass.
It's just logistically, it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, just logistically, it's a nightmare, right? If they're less than completely voluntary, it gets real ugly real quick.
Yeah, I don't know.
To use a historical example, right? During the Indian Relocation Acts in America, which were terrible, some Native American peoples basically saw the writing on the wall and were like, you know what, fuck it, we're just gonna fuck off out there before they kick us out by force. Yeah. And even those groups had lots of people die. Right. The people who were forcibly escorted got it a lot worse, as we well know from the Trail of Tears.
Yes.
Right, and you're going to be in a situation where you're going to have to possibly relocate, like, a third of the population from where they live to somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, the alternative is they get flooded out and they end up as refugees sometime down the line. Or they just die.
Oh yeah, I mean, voluntary relocation is obviously better than the alternative, right? But the point is it's a big right? It's a big task, right? And if the government just sits on its hands and does fuck all, right? It's just going to turn into a complete fucking nightmare.
might get to.
Because
Yeah, well, that's the big thing, right? Is we need all those cities constructed. I think it's through there, and I can't get through there in the first place. And hopefully, this time when we build them properly. Um, but right now, we're not doing anything at all.
Yeah.
And so some of that is that the and this kind of bothers me, right? The only possible rhetoric politically around climate change is either who gives a shit or it doesn't exist, right? On the one hand, or on the other hand, it's no, we must prevent the climate from changing. Period.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, even if we had done nothing wrong with the climate ever, the climate would change. It's just how the climate does, right? Some process would change it. So you can't even have this conversation with some people because they'll just be like, oh, you're a climate change denier. Like, no,
I mean,
very much not a climate change denier because I want to compensate for the problems that we're having with it.
So obviously, right, we should do stuff to reduce the human contribution to climate change. Obviously,
yes, yeah. Well, because there's no reason to be wasteful if we don't have to be.
Yeah. So, firstly, that. Secondly, climate change is absolutely being driven, even primarily by human activity. But also, right, you're increasingly getting, as time wears on, right, and nothing is being done about preventing climate change, right, you start having to more and more consider what you're going to do about the consequences of climate change that we're not going to be able to change, right?
Right.
Right, because even if we go carbon neutral tomorrow, right, there's still going to be some fallout from that.
Well, in my position, right, like, let's say the deniers are right and human beings have no contribution to climate change. It's still happening.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and there's no reason for us to pollute and do all these horrible, inefficient systems when we don't need to do them, when there are much better ways to do them that are better for humans and for the environment.
I mean, it's an overdetermined position, right?
Exactly. Overdetermined is the right word, yes.
Right. I mean, there's actually we're actually facing like a series of environmental crises relating to climate change, land use, loss of ecological diversity, and resource wastage, and along with general pollution. Microplastics taste great.
Oh yeah.
And the issue is that a lot of the stuff you do for one of those issues, you do for the rest of those issues too. Like,
yes.
Like reducing the use of cars not only deals with carbon emissions but also deals with microplastics because of tires.
Well, and traffic and the economic impact of traffic and making cities livable for human beings and reducing mental strain and blah, blah, blah. So, yes.
So the reasons for doing it, so you do a lot of similar stuff for all of these different issues anyway, and at least some of them are true. Right, so again, right, so your ecological policy package is overdetermined, right? You should do it for a lot of different reasons, not just the one. But you as you go on, right, you have to deal with like what are we going right? The climate is going to change. What are we going to do about it?
Right.
And if the answer is nothing, right, we're just going to have flooded cities, right?
Right. We need social, political, economic, technological systems which are sufficiently robust that they can handle any kind of environmental change, whatever the cause.
Yeah. And upon a preliminary look of the situation, if things get real bad, it might require mass relocation of populations to the Mississippi River system and the Great Lakes areas, which should be relatively protected from the worst of these environmental issues.
I'm just not.
I'm sure you'll get a power later on to break through that thing.
Yeah. I mean, because I can't remember how it was when I first came here. Like, was this the main entrance? I can't remember.
So dealing with rising sea levels is going to require relocating of cities, of ports, of lots of different things. And if you do nothing, right, you're just going to have a fuck ton of refugees, who are then going to be dislocated and not be able to meaningfully contribute to the the productive system, right?
Yep. And if you do all this stuff under capitalism, then the people who have property in these areas are going to use them to rule politically,
Mm-hmm.
and so right, and so that just the whole thing is just fucked.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm going. I'm just fucking around.
I mean, you could just go to the plot.
I want to go to the plot. I want to do the side quest, even though I don't know how to do the side quest.
But yeah. So.
Oh, okay. So according to the internet, I have to wait. What chapter am I in? Chapter 6?
Chapter 5, I think.
I thought I was chapter 5 too, but yeah, I'm in chapter 5. So I gotta wait till chapter 6 to fully explore the area. Fine. I'll go to the plot. But anyway, this is why I'm gonna buy, a farm out in Kansas somewhere. I'll make it entirely self-sufficient. Is this the place I can go?
Oh yeah, that's also another thing about climate denial. Florida just did the same thing Texas did, and preemptively passed a law preventing localities from imposing workplace regulations on extreme temperature environments.
What do these people think the consequences of doing this to their own populations is going to be?
Immigrants will die, so nobody cares. I mean, who works outdoors the most? Agricultural workers and construction workers. What areas of the economy are most worked by illegal immigrants? Agricultural and construction. So they'll die first, so nobody cares.
Oh, I did open this up. That's right. Okay, can't do that. I don't even know where I am in this place. I just completely skipped the entrance.
Use your force bubble shield.
Yeah. I'm just definitely not doing this in the correct order, but I can't be game breaking. I just kind of did whatever. Oh. Or sequence breaking, rather. Wah wah.
Schmackety schmackety doo.
I've definitely sequence broken something.
Maybe you should have just stayed on the fucking plot line instead of wandering off and accomplishing literally nothing for the past 20 minutes.
Yeah, but I mean, I wanted to. This is something I did earlier, weeks ago, and I'm exploring. It's a RPG.
RPG means you're on rails. It's like JRPGs, aka Jamiroquai RPGs. You always stay on the Jamiroquai path.
You mean the one where the house stays the same, but the floor moves underneath you? Yeah.
Yes.
Gotta love that music video.
It's a great music video.
So good.
It's really a shame they don't make good music videos anymore.
No, they're all bad.
Yeah, they're all bad.
The best one I've seen recently is actually an Ed Sheeran one where he's a vampire flying around.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that's a story, but
Yeah.
most of the time they're like, here's a clip from a movie that doesn't exist that you'd much rather be watching. Like, or it's just, here's me driving a car and I'm hanging out with girls and blah, blah, blah. Who
Yeah,
cares?
music videos are kind of like a very weird subgenre of filmmaking, right? Uh, which you can see like early like MTV days, right, where they had like a lot of really like avant-garde shit. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you look at basically like any of the early like Talking Heads music videos, for example.
Talking Heads. Or the famous one, Dire Straits. That wasn't really an early music video, I guess, but it was definitely early, like, MTV era.
Mm-hmm.
The Money for Nothing.
Yeah. And then, like with the rise of the internet, right, the quality of music videos really just sort of fell off.
You know, I don't even know what the point of doing a music video. I'm sure there's some stupid tax, whatever. Oh,
It's a
what?
promotional thing. Use your boom.
Oh, it's a light and it's swinging.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't have a superpower yet. Field power. Oh, I don't think I want to save yet. I might want to exit out unless I auto saved. Oh, okay.
So,
Machine.
no, I took a nap earlier today and I had a terrible dream.
Yeah.
Where like like this theme, like this video game with like communist themes to it, got like that was like Soviet-esque or whatever, right? Got really popular, but like its presentation of like communism and the Soviet Union and whatnot was just wildly inaccurate.
Hmm.
Uh, and so people were just like really into just like this really shitty, wildly inaccurate version of like having like Soviet sonas and shit, and it was just utterly infuriating.
So the whole world became tankies.
Uh, Tankies who literally never read theory once in their life. Uh,
So
I know tankies who've read theory,
I know.
but but
I'm just kidding.
I'm just kidding, bro.
I'm just making fun. So it's all in good humor.
Anyway, so basically, like Atomic Heart, if it wasn't just a flash in the pan, but got like popular.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that game.
Yeah,
Never played that game.
fortunately, it was a flash in the pan because it was a terrible, fucking rendition of Soviet utopianism.
It always is.
A game being mature is just the main character saying "fuck" a lot, right, guys?
Uh, we should make like an RPG, kind of maybe in this style or some similar kind of style, where it seems all kind of cutesy and fun, but really it like fairly quickly not devolves, but it, expands, I should say, into like a deep exploration of like, you know, the nuances of various psychosocial phenomena.
So Undertale.
Yeah, but a different kind of RPG, I guess. More socialist in character.
So like
I like the
Deltarune.
Spider Wizard. I haven't played Deltarune. Is it even all out yet?
Chapter 2 is out. I haven't played it.
Yeah. I'll wait until the whole game's out, I guess.
I mean, they're basically each a whole game, right? So
Oh, are they?
yeah, they're like they like continue the same story, right? But like they're clearly like they're clearly designed to be consumed individually, right?
It's like John Wick Chapter 1
Yeah,
or Chapter 2.
yeah.
Cool.
Can you leave now?
Yeah. save. Oh, right. Come on. T-posing to show dominance, yes. Is this the only place I go to when I fast travel to the far grasslands?
I don't know. I thought there was a branching path off to the right.
Maybe there is. Oh, it's one of these.
Yeah, so you got to come in the other way.
I got to do it the right way. The game is cleverer than I thought it was.
Aww.
Can't just fucking sequence break.
Also, did you hear about that game from Square Enix, Forspoken?
Vaguely familiar. I don't think I played it.
I watched some footage from it. It has like just the most fucking cringe writing I've ever seen, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's cringe about it?
It's just hasn't. The main character's utterly hateable. It's a display of like the worst of like Marvel humor, trying to undercut every possible tense moment. Just.
Have you seen Oppenheimer?
The most stale writing you can imagine. No, I have not seen Oppenheimer. In solidarity with the writers and actors, I refuse to go to the movies during the strike.
Yeah.
Even though they have not technically asked for people to boycott stuff.
Yeah, I saw it. I mean, don't they get residuals from the ticket sales?
Depends on how the negotiation turns out.
Okay. Well, I saw it. But my point is, it was so nice to see a movie that wasn't fucking, like, either Marvel or Marvel style. Like, I also saw The Flash, which was not as bad a movie as people make it out to be, but it's not a good movie.
I mean, I think a lot of controversy around it is just that
Ezra Miller?
Yeah, he's just fucking crazy.
Yeah, he's a good actor, though. Or whatever pronoun I'm supposed to use, I don't even know.
I'm not sure he knows. So.
It's fair. Oh. Well, goddamn.
If you go to the left, it leads to the other side of that pile of rocks.
Ooh.
Or maybe it doesn't, I don't know.
It does not.
Ooh, money.
Cool.
Imagine if you just could walk through some bushes and be like, ooh, $100 bill. That's
okay.
Curious.
That's definitely different.
Right. Dash through.
Yeah.
He doesn't have many hit points left, so just... Told ya.
Yep. When was the last time you went to a movie?
When was the last time I went to a movie? It's been a long time. No, it hasn't actually been that long. The last movie I saw was the Dungeons & Dragons movie.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
That was the last movie I saw, and then before that, I hadn't seen a movie all the way since the beginning of COVID. Dungeons and Dragons was the first movie I saw after the COVID pandemic started.
Oh. Some of my socialist acquaintances have told me that I need to go see the Barbie movie. I don't know why.
I don't know. Ben Shapiro hates it for some reason.
Oh, no, I definitely want to go see it.
I posted a meme about it on the server, but he actually filmed a video of him burning a fucking Barbie doll in protest.
Is that a real thing?
Yes!
What a piece of shit!
What a fucking child!
Exactly. What an infant!
Yeah, just this movie for little girls. This toy movie for little girls offends me, a grown man in his late 30s. So much, I'm going to set a toy on fire.
Jesus Christ.
What a fucking joke. They complained so much.
If I'd written this as a sitcom, it wouldn't be believable.
They complained so much about, like, oh, this fucking oversensitive snowflake leftist, and look at the shit he does.
Well, I mean, it's remember when Jordan Peterson and Slavoj Žižek had a quote-unquote debate, and it was pretty much immediately obvious that Jordan Peterson didn't know what Marxism was? Right?
Yeah.
And now, granted, you're talking to Slavoj Žižek, who, like, even if Jordan Peterson was a top Marxist scholar, would have spent the entire time talking about film theory, because that's just the kind of cool dude he is. I mean, like, oh, the snowflake left. Like, you've never met a leftist in your life, Mr. Shapiro.
Yes, Jordan Peterson very clearly does not understand what Marxism is.
None of them do.
Just
None
like
of those people.
Like, just on a very basic descriptive level, like. Right, again, like, Jordan Peterson's like those postmodern Marxists. It's like, bro, Marxism is like the most high modernist. Marxism is like the epitome of modernist thought.
Right. Like, you can't both talk about how postmodern Marxism is and talk about the, failures of Soviet utopianism in the same breath, right? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Why am I even... I should... Because I'll just let Maki do all this shit. See? No. Oh. That was weird. Okay, so I'm just missing the... Okay. I'm doing it right this time. I'm going the right... I'm, engaging with the thing as it's presented to me. Game.
Engage better. I mean, there's a path off to the right there, right?
It's behind a thing. Oh, wait, maybe there's a path. Can I go over there? No, I can't go over there. Can I go around? No.
No.
Okay.
Well, anyway, you tried, you failed. Let's go home.
Let's go home.
I sent you a video of it. I don't know if you watched it. The that the Indian guru video.
I've seen that guy before. I don't know if I watched that one.
He's real funny. It's like, when you are having a bad day, give up, go home.
Yeah. What was it like? He has one of it that's like, just don't do anything.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Your boss, something like, your boss doesn't care about you, so, do the bare minimum of work. Like, Yep. I mean, unless you got a great boss and you love your work, in which case, go for it. But...
Yeah, and how many people in the world does that describe?
6. Okay, there's clearly not much here.
Oh yeah, also in good news, so you know how I was talking to you about the Lisa Definitive Edition? Now they fucked up the Work Harder music?
Did they unfuck it?
The creator, Austin Jorgensen, has officially apologized for him being a fuck up and is working on a fix.
Oh. That's good. You see what happens when people own their own means of production. They can respond quickly to the needs of their customers.
And that's why we support distributism. Everyone should be a small business. It's the Catholic way.
The Catholic way. Yep, okay. Content not yet ready for player.
I love being under-leveled.
I mean, that would be cool if, like, some super-powered badass was in front of every, like, area and you had to level up enough to beat them to get through. That would be kind of a neat way of blocking achievement, or advancement, rather. Thanks, Kabu. That's not creepy at all. Just avoiding all of the fighting. I'm sure I'll have to grind at some point. Huh? What does this do? Oh.
Curiouser and curiouser. You're gonna have to jump.
Yeah, I know.
Wubba lubba dub dub.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone the other day, and so I've actually seen a good at least the first season and a bit of Star Trek Lower Decks. Actually,
I hear it's not bad.
Yeah, like it's right. It's clear that's right. So I will say this, right? It's clear at least somebody on the staff actually gives a fuck about Star Trek, right? Which is more than you can say about basically all of New Trek. But it would be a lot better if it was less Rick and Morty.
It's very Rick and Morty. Wow. And like it's mean humor. Right? Like a lot of it is like, hey, here's this dude and he's a real dweebus and look, let's be mean to him. I'm like, I don't like that.
I don't know. It's just I think there's something of I don't know. For whatever reason it just came to, yeah, you're really under leveled, see.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, it just brings to mind, the fucking boomer in your life who's like, oh, I have a real dark sense of humor, and he just shows you racist memes on his phone.
Yeah.
Health.
Yeah.
Probably.
Stop being mysterious. Nope. Just no. Ooh. Low bearing rock. I don't know what the point of that was. It's... Burn your houses down. Fucking leaf things. Yes, I'd figure that out. Damn, I'm gonna have to do my fighting myself.
My cat just decided today is the day she kills her toy.
Had to be one day.
Also, I'm currently going around and abusing the 50% off opening deal for a bunch of meal delivery services, like HelloFresh and whatnot. So I'll let you know how that goes.
I've used DoorDash before.
Oh no, this isn't like DoorDash. It's
like
they send
like
you
meal prep delivery.
Yeah, the meal prep delivery, right? So
yeah,
they send you.
I've used Blue Apron before.
Yeah. How do you like it?
It was not bad. I mean, they talk about, oh, you're going to learn cooking skills. I don't think I remember anything I ever learned from them. and I'm not sure it was really like it's not. It was pretty expensive compared to just like go out and buying your own food. But like I once made Thanksgiving dinner out of a couple of them, and it was nice. Mostly I had to be like, all right, I know it's going to be delivered today, so I got to get home early and pick it up from the counter before it goes bad.
I'm already tired.
Oh, cool. I just had to wait for the story moment to happen.
Told you.
Yep. These are just plants.
I think you're supposed to freeze that guy and jump off of him.
Yep. Oh. Okay, this I get. What the hell is this word? Mattis what?
Mate's fee?
Mate's fee? I don't know.
I don't know what those are. When are we gonna get our Bug Fable Hollow Knight crossover?
I don't know. These guys do look pretty Hollow Knighty.
Maybe after they get done with Silk Song.
Undoubtedly before then, because you're not allowed to have Soul Song or Silk Song.
Yeah. For some reason.
So they're waiting until I can finish Hollow Knight.
Waiting on you individually.
Like, yeah, specifically.
Can we release Silk Song yet, boss? Nah, Christmas hasn't completed it. We can't. I understand game development takes time, but goddamn, no news for like a year.
I know you want to do your revenge thing and kill it, but we're not going to do that.
We're going to go off and hide like a coward.
That's goddamn right.
Nope. You're gonna have to break through those rocks in the back.
Yeah, but then there's the thing.
You can't escape the critical path.
No. But then there's the thing over there's like a bridge full of
I'm
logs.
sure it'll lead there
like,
somehow.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, fuck you.
Crash into it with,
Yes.
Maybe you gotta get more of a running start.
Maybe. Nope, can't jump. I really can't go down on those things. Oh, I should have used V first, but whatever.
Suboptimal gameplay.
Whatever. I mean, I could just do this. Jesus. Jesus, fucking AoE. Fuck you, you flying fairy asshole.
Are you getting stun locked to death?
They're all stunned, yeah. Yep, it's just fucked now. Jesus Christ.
Choose to play the game better.
Yeah, I'm sorry I chose to play the game worse. Fuck you. I don't want to.
How's my cat tired? She's barely moved.
It's cats. Oh, am I supposed to, like... Let's say hit that tree, but I guess not. Oh.
There's a ramp down there.
Yeah.
See, it's an exploration puzzle. I think you just gotta hit it once. Actually, hit it again. Just to see what it does. Oh, it just says the same thing. Okay.
It's reciprocating.
Yeah. What'd that do?
I don't know. Here we are.
Dig it out. And come out.
Oh, there we go. That's right.
There you go.
Nope. Nope. Fuck you. Fuck you. Oh, wait, hold on. I think I know what to do. It always comes back a little further. Yeah, there we go. Why did I do that?
I don't know.
Did that, in fact, help me accomplish anything at all?
Maybe you're just simple like that.
um, obviously, to get up there, right? Oh, can't. Bear in the way. Oh, just supposed to go here, I guess. Whoa.
Ben Shapiro goes to Buffalo Wild Wings, yells at the waiter because the wings aren't from actual buffaloes.
Why is this place called Buffalo Wild Wings if it's not actually going to serve me wings from buffaloes?
I kind of sad. I kind of sad the very tall part guy stopped making those AI videos.
I'm sure he got a cease and desist or something.
No, he's just gone back to making YouTube poops.
Yeah.
But like, it's fucking.
No, those are my favorite. They're my favorite. Like, hey, here's a version of Ben Shapiro I not only tolerate but look forward to. Conspicuous rock.
So apparently there's some political nonsense going on in Niger.
There's a war or something, isn't there?
Yeah, there's like a civil war breaking out, like a coup between the president and some other. I'm not clear on all the details, but here's a tweet for you, or an X, as the muskrat would like us to say. The free world should not let Russia steal Niger's uranium. Those mines legally belong to France and other EU countries.
This is a joke tweet?
No.
Please?
Self-reflection levels 0. You can't let them steal that. We're busy stealing that.
It's just, I mean, like, that's a Norm Macdonald bit.
Just fucking libs, my dude.
Why am I back here? I think this is just a save point. Oh, I'm gonna go over there. God damn it. I got an environment. wear out my wrist. I didn't even get it. Wild Chomper.
Did you know that chain chomps are one of the only crossover enemies that exist both in the Mario franchise and the Legend of Zelda franchise? Consistently.
Where do they exist in Zelda?
They exist in, actually mostly just in the handheld titles.
Oh.
So Link's Awakening and other shit.
Oh, here's... So they're just going to buff themselves and never actually attack. Great.
That's acceptable.
It's fine by me.
It's like a metapod. That one bit of the metapod versus the Kakuna in the anime was pretty funny, honestly. They just keep using Harden against each other until the trainers pass out.
Hold on. Pat. I love you, Pat, but no. No. No, go over there. He's just kind of standing there watching us.
Hey, you're not gonna go deeper into this dungeon, are you?
This dungeon?
Yeah, this one.
I'm trying.
I can't let you do that.
You can't let me... What?
I'm making it... I'm trying to be a funny haha man.
Oh. I see, you're impersonating the thing.
Yes. It is an ancient tradition from the MST3K, from the olden times.
Epi Mayman? Hmm.
What's with the audio pops?
Audio pops?
Yeah, I'm getting audio pops on my end.
I'm not hearing any audio pops.
Likely story.
Are you still hearing them?
No, not anymore. There it was.
Maybe it was... I'm literally not doing anything. Did I, like, pull a cable out or something? I don't know.
Just keep playing for now. It'll melt on its own.
I guess it must.
Or it should. They usually do.
Yeah. It just takes longer than that. I can see it vaguely shrinking. Unless this way, no. This doesn't seem right.
But if you jump off, it'll melt right then, and you'll be fucked.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can't, even if I push it off or something, it'll just, I have to freeze the other one, and that'll melt it. But, how? What? Oh.
I wasn't watching. What's... Good job.
God, stop it.
Just run away.
Oh, now it takes effect. All right. What?
It'd be really hilarious if you have to transport that ice block up to that.
Oh,
path.
you're fucking kidding. That's exactly what I have to do. Yeah, it's just gonna have to keep that thing out of my way for a minute.
Put it on the green one.
No, I think it's supposed to go over here.
I mean, try the green one first at the very least.
I mean, I can't like put it down with my weight.
Well, then see what happens if you do it. I mean, it's not gonna.
All right.
I mean, you got it up here already,
That's true. What? Why does that work? What do I do?
No, it's going back and forth now.
Oh, that one over there is going back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that other? Whatever.
See, I'm a fucking genius.
Yes, try everything with everything else until something works. But stop.
Don't step on the mushroom.
I'm not trying to step on the mushroom.
You're trying to avoid the enemy, which causes you to step on the mushroom. So
this is all fault. Oh, here I am. I don't know what that button does. Whatever. My curiosity was short-lived.
Maybe this just opens the return path back to the exit. Or not. Go break those rocks. Oh, God.
No.
There's the rocks right there.
Yep.
And this just opens up a shortcut then, I guess.
I guess so.
Time to do it all over again.
Well, why are you here? I'm gonna go see what that other button does before I get into this obvious boss fight. I'm gonna have to go down and schlep all the way back up and do whatever, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
From Bloomberg News. We're dying younger. That could be really good news for our employers.
You're fucking kidding me.
No.
That's a joke, right?
No. Real thing someone at Bloomberg thought was a good idea to write. In reaction to a statistic, to some statistics gathered showing that death rate improvements have stalled out. Where U.S. mortality rates leveled out in 2011 and have been slightly increasing since 2015.
That sounds right. Gosh, I wonder what could have caused that.
I don't know, man. It's just a fucking mystery. Also, apparently, there's a pathogen going around in marijuana plants that's causing the weed to become weak.
I've heard about that.
It's fucking
like of all the bullshit God could do right now, it's to make our fucking pot weak. Like we needed this shit right now, God. Thanks.
Of course, there's that article I sent you about, we just need to build up a tolerance to climate change.
Build up a tolerance to my foot in your asshole. Fucking Bloomberg writers or whatever. And no!
It should still be on the,
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Thank God. It persists as an object in the world.
freeze them. I gotta go to the bathroom real quick.
Have a good time. I'm still going to go see Barbie. They've decided this. Because I want to know what all the goddamn fuss is about. And it's not the opening weekend, so they're not going to get all the good numbers. Ooh, shit. Alright, fuck this. No, why did I come up here? And so many berries.
I'm back, and I see you've been having serious trouble with this.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, this creature will not weigh down the button. Which means I have to make that ice block. And I guess bring it all the way up, but I can't do that and push the button at the same time.
Maybe it's something you'll do later.
Maybe. See, doesn't weigh the button down.
And you can't freeze them?
I can't get close enough to freeze them.
There you go.
Oh, I did it. I just did it. The second I said I couldn't do it, I did it. Why? Why would I ever want this?
Just to fuck yourself over, Metal.
Yeah, why would I ever want this? Is there some advantage to this at some point? Is it just to get all the... This is dumb. It was a waste
maybe
of time.
it's challenge Metal.
Maybe. Whatever. Nope.
Then save and then talk to the guy.
Yeah. Well, I already talked to the guy. He's gonna wait here, and I'm gonna go here. And I'm gonna go talk to these fuckers. Ew. All right. '76 defense 1 scene. Shit, now what do I do?
Go to your special abilities. Do go down to Hurricane Toss. Yeah, do that one.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Because it ignores just one defense.
Shit.
Then Heavy Strike.
Yup.
Then freeze him again.
And then freeze him again. Nope, didn't work. Jesus Christ. That hurts my arm. What else do you need to freeze? He needs 3, okay. Excellent. You
see if you might want to use this time to do nothing but healing items.
Yeah. Yeah, who needs healing? Let's give it to Kabu. Ooh. Okay, I don't think I need anything right now.
Then just hit him.
Yeah.
Been
It's
trying
kind
to
of a
freeze him
waste of
again.
those ones then. Yeah. Nope.
I'll just wail on them normal.
Well. Great. I don't think I have anything that can, well... I guess I can do this. Nope. Great. I think I'm just gonna end up losing this one. I think in the next one, I'm not going to use Kabu's special at all. Because it only does one extra point and it takes up 3 whole points of teamwork points or whatever, so I'm not sure it's worth it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, alright. Oh, shit. Whatever. Pretty sure I have all my... Yeah. Yeah, Hurricane Toss because it ignores the 1 damage. For 1. Yeah. You know what I mean.
Good for a coffin?
Yep. Yay!
Good hurricane toss.
Nope.
So, have V do the normal hurricane toss, and then have
Thank you,
Kabu
hurricane toss. You
well,
mean normal strike?
No, switch over to Kabu and have him give you your team or TP.
Do what now?
Use your item. You have an item that gives you TP.
Do I?
Yes.
Oh yeah, you're right.
He'll
I mean, he's the only...
use it on himself.
Yeah.
Now hurricane strike again.
I think I misclicked it, but that's fine.
And
I think that's it. I don't know
you can try to throw the freeze block at him. Alright.
You know what? Oh, damn. Does Cabo have anything you can taunt? Yeah, let's taunt.
Probably not.
What?
It's probably not worth it. He has a bunch of AoE attacks anyway, so it's not.
That's true. Damn it. Caught you again. It'd be nice if there were other ways to restore TP, like doing nothing. I mean, I know there's a badge that does that, I'm pretty sure, but still.
Use V's attack first.
No,
so,
it doesn't work.
Leafs.
Only his Leafs attack.
I'd actually have Kabu use. Oh, next time you get a chance, use one of your healing items. You still have one left.
True. I'm gonna have Leaf do it because he does the least damage.
Alright.
Make yourself Cabo. Shit, I did it again. God damn it. That's annoying. Nope.
You need to grind more.
Alright, screw it. I'm done.
You done for today, or?
Oh, shit. Hit the button again. Yeah, I think I'm done for today.
Oh, okay. That was kind of short.
I can't flee. Yeah. It was 2.5 hours? Did we get up to 2.5 hours? Or something like that. Yeah, my thumbs hurt.
Alright. Fair enough. Any parting words for the streaming audience or future selves?
I don't know.
Everyone's a fraud and trust none of them?
The things fall apart the center cannot hold. I think about that all the time. We are in a misery of our own creation.
True black pill takes.
Yep.
Anyway.
Go bowling, play video games.
Alright,